I'm with senior captain Mark Bartley of the men's cross country team. Mark, how did it feel to get out here and run for the first time this season?
Well, it felt good. You know, we're all tired from early camp and have a lot of miles under our legs, but it feels good to finally, compete a little bit.
And how's camp gone this year so far? I mean, you got a week under your belt now.
Yeah.
Finally got out, got a little competition.
Yeah.
How did the team look, and how did your legs feel?
The team I thought looked strong. You know, it's hard because this isn't actually our race distance. It's a little shorter, and it's just, a lot more for fun than anything else, to get the alumni down, get a really good workout in. I felt fine. I felt all right. I mean, we're all tired from early camp and everything we've been doing, but I think overall it went well.
Speaking of your rest of your camp schedule, are you going to have tomorrow off or your short run, and then what does the rest of the week look like?
Well, tomorrow is actually our long run, so we'll be doing that tomorrow morning. The rest of our week, actually, we have a home meet here on Thursday, and that's just going to be us and Bethel, so it's just kind of another, just to kind of get the races rolling and start to get some competition before the important meets.
And starting the season, how do you feel as a captain? How does your team look, the outlook after a week of practice?
I think we look good. We look strong. We have a lot of potential coming in. If we can stay healthy, I think we'll do some big things.
And how does it feel to get back with the alumni? Some old teammates today, probably?
Yeah. The cross-country team has an excellent alumni, and we all get along so well, and it's a lot of fun having them all back.
Well, good luck this season, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks. Talking with junior Kate Eggers here of the women's cross-country team. Kate, how did it feel to get out here and run for the first time this season?
Felt really good. We had a really hard week of practice, but it was good to get out today and get some leg speed in and do a little preseason race.
Is that something you itch for kind of in that first week of camp, just to get out and actually run and compete against somebody?
Definitely. It's a little scary getting out there for the first time, but I think all of us look forward to it.
What's the rest of camp look like in the next week for you leading up to it?
Yeah, we have 1 week left of camp, and next week we should have a couple of tough workouts and then a race on Thursday here at Gustavus against Bethany College.
Looking towards the future of the season, how does your team look? What's your expectations going into the year?
I think we look really strong. We have quite a few girls coming back that were varsity letter winners last year, and our expectations are really high.
I'm with head coach Dale Barr, head coach of the men's and women's cross-country teams at Gustavus. Well, Coach Barr, Alumni Meet, how do you think both teams fared today, men and women?
The Alumni Meet is one of those things where we come in a week earlier and we race, we practice really hard, and we end up beating ourselves up pretty bad. So when the alumni come back, I think they always rest up for this one so they can have some bragging rights. But today I was very impressed. The alumni ladies, we'll start with that race. The alumni ladies looked really good up front. They've got Nicole Porath and Laura Edlin, who looked very tough. Vanessa also ran very well for the alumni. And then our varsity ladies ended up doing very well with Kate Eggers up front, with Brooke returning for us this season. Very excited to have her back. And then we got a couple freshmen up in that top 5 as well, which was our top 6. And it was very exciting to see some young along with the older experienced ladies. So overall, our team looked very good. I was kind of actually very impressed with the way they did, considering early camp is pretty tough. On the men's side, traditionally our alumni men are very, very strong, which they continued to be again this year. But we ended up putting in a good fight, and I believe a couple of years ago I think the alumni actually swept our varsity. But this year our varsity has definitely did some very, very smart training over the summer, and they looked very good today. They ended up, putting a fight, and not exactly, it was a close race. I can't tell you exactly if the varsity or the alumni race or the alumni won, so I'll be able to tell that here in a couple minutes. So very impressed with the way the varsity's looking right now.
Yeah, even still, that's got to give you confidence on the men's side, huh?
Absolutely. One of the things we talked about from last season is just smart training compared to just running a lot of miles, and they really have taken that to heart, and they seem to have understood it. And the mileage is good, and a lot of people need that, but they also have to do it in a smart way.
Well, you got another week of practice leading up to Thursday, and you kind of open the season against Bethany here on your own turf, right at the Arb again. What's your expectations leading up to that meet and the season for both the men and the women?
Well, leading up to the Bethany meet, Bethany doesn't have a very large team, and we've got a very good sized team. Matter of fact, I believe our men is the largest I've ever seen it in 12 years. And for the women, we're always holding around that 30, 35, and so we should look. I see us doing very well against Bethany. It's kind of just a tune-up and just kind of see where we're at against other colleges. And I think on our home field, our home turf, it's pretty easy to kind of know the course and that. So we're excited to have them over here next week. I expect us to do very well there, but we're just kind of using a couple smaller competitions here so that we don't get too excited early, and we understand that the competition that counts is at the end of the year. And the rest of the season. Again, looking at the attitude of the team and looking at, putting out this plan that we have, and they all kind of seem to understand it, and they all kind of are going with it. I expect some really good things. Last year we finished 8th in the conference for the men, and I'd be surprised if we were lower than 5 this year. We really have a good group of guys working hard, and they're working smart like I talked about earlier. And then on the women's side, we have just a very good, experienced team. We've got a couple runners right now that they're a little bit back today, but I know they'll be there at the end of the season. That's kind of how they do it. They don't get too excited at the beginning, but they show up at the end when it really counts. So along with those experienced runners up front, and then having those couple freshmen in there, I really expect our team to do well, and I'm excited to see how we end up at the end of the season.
Well, do you run them tomorrow, Coach, and then give them a break, or?
Well, no, they actually go on a long run tomorrow.
Yeah.
The women will end up going somewhere around 10 to 12 miles, and the men will end up going somewhere between 10 and 14. So no break for them. And Monday we're going to have a down day. Tuesday we're going to have a really hard practice, and then next week Thursday is the meet. So.
Well, good luck the rest of camp, and good luck at the start of the season again on Thursday, Coach.
Excellent. Thank you very much.